right, there we go. From 1967, that is Chris Montez, and Because of You. And hey, right on the other end of this phone, I have a fella by the name of Chris Montez. Hi, Chris.
Hey, hello, everybody. It's really good to be talking to you.
Wow, thank you for being here with us on Remember Then Radio tonight. I know that you've been busy. I know that you're on the road quite a bit, but I'm thankful that you're taking some time from your schedule to come here tonight. Chris, we have people from all over the world that are out here tonight. And
well, it's my pleasure to be talking to you and be talking to people, because without your fans, you're nothing, and that's the way I feel. Without my fans, I don't exist.
Hey, that is for sure, right?
Right.
Well, now, I understand that you grew up in, was it Hawthorne, California, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a fella that really influenced you, I guess, from what I understand. What was his name?
Richie Valens.
Yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah. It's funny. He came to my little town in Hawthorne, and, he had Donna and La Bamba Roof happening, and I was still in high school, and I was waiting to see him, but it was sold out. But to me, it didn't matter, because just to say that I was there at the same hall with him, that fulfilled my feelings. So I'm waiting there, and they said, be out in 10 minutes, so I'm standing at the end of this little cop, and Richie Valens is standing next to me. Of all places, he's standing next to me. Now that was God sent. I really believe that.
Wow.
And I ran out. I didn't know how to express myself, but I just told him I thought he was great and I wanted to be a singer like him. He said, thank you, and he shook my hand, and then a few months later, he got killed.
Yeah, boy, that was sad, huh?
But the point I wanted to make is that the way he treated me is the way I try to treat everybody else, because people want to say hello to you. I have nothing but time to say hello, because I know what it feels like. People want to say something to you, you know?
Yeah. Chris, I have some information to pass along to you. Mark Allen from Vanity Fair, your drummer for the Solid Silver 60s tour, is in the chat room tonight. So,
oh, good, Mark.
Yeah, we have a lot of your friends in the chat room.
That's beautiful.
That's so. Richie Valens was a young fella back then, so wow, you must have just been a youngster, huh?
Yeah, I was a sophomore in high school, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
But I got to meet him. I got to meet my idol. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that's fabulous. And
the person who influenced my life as a singer, really.
Well,
And of course, I was hanging out with these hoodlums. I had them in my class. I mean, I had a few of them, and I used to go to their house and jam with them. Wow. And that was Brian Wilson and the brothers, Dennis and Carl.
Wow. Yeah. Gee, they didn't do too bad, did they? I mean,
no, they sure didn't. They sure didn't. It's very strange, and it's beautiful connection in your life. To have people that you were affiliated with, that you knew.
Well, I remember in 1962 when your single "Let's Dance" on the Monogram record label came out. I remember listening to that, and as a young fella myself, I thought, wow, this is fabulous. Could this be a Richie Valens tune that they just found somewhere? And then I went up to the store and I bought the 45, and I see the name on there, Chris Montez, and I said, wow, I like that, and played it and played it and played it. And I want to tell you something now. In all the years that I've been out on the road DJing, which is 41 years, your song, Let's Dance, is still one of the favorite dance tunes that I play.
Wow, that's beautiful. I'm honored. That's nice. It's an honor to be, connected. It's an honor to, when I reflect on my life, it's an honor just to be connected with rock and roll, that era, beginning of rock and roll, and all the artists that were before me and after me, in the 60s, 70s.
So was Let's Dance your first record?
Yeah, well, I had one prior to that, was a regional hit, was called All You Had to Do Was Tell Me.
All right.
And in fact, we then later on I recorded it with Kathy Young as a duo.
All right, yeah.
And from there, yeah, that was it. You know, that's I wanted to stay within the Richie Valens realm, but when my producer says, let's do this song, we were writing songs together, and I didn't really want to record that song, but I did anyway, you know.
And I bet you're glad you did, huh? Because it wound up selling 1 million copies for you.
Yeah, I think it was just God's way. That was my destiny in life, you know. What I'm living still is my destiny, you know.
Well, then your follow-up was also another great tune that I really enjoyed, Some Kind of Fun.
Oh, yeah.
And
that was a good hit.
Yeah, that was huge in the UK, and I understand that song also sold 1 million copies. So, boom, 2 gold records right away.
Yeah, that was quite a great accomplishment, you know, great blessing, I should say.
So, Chris, after these tunes, did you go out on the road and tour?
Yeah, well, I did. I remember getting invited to do the Dick Clark show, which was, I remember coming home all the time, and, you know, as a kid, you know, you watch the Dick Clark show and that theme, da-da-da-da-da, you know, and watch all these different artists that I got to see, you know, like Fabian, Dion, you know, Bobby Rydell, you know, and I never thought that I would even meet them. And all of a sudden, you know, I got invited to do the Dick Clark show, and I was ecstatic. What else can I say? You know, never been out of Los Angeles, never did much of anything, and then, you know, I grew up with a family of 9, but my mother had 18 children.
Wow.
And 9 of us survived, and so that was kind of my life, you know. Low profile. My brothers were working the best they could. None of them really finished high school, you know, got education. I decided then to get an education because I knew that was important in life. But and then I'm doing the Dick Clark show, and it was amazing to meet Dick Clark. I mean, this guy, Dick Clark, I said, I can't believe I get to shake his hand and say hello to him. It was a wonderful experience, and then I did a couple of his Dick Clark tours. But after that Dick Clark show that I did, I got connected with doing the Howard and the Apollo and all these different theaters.
Oh, wow. The Apollo.
So, yeah, so I got into doing, you know, shows with the Orleans and Smokey Robinson and Jerry Butler, all these different people.
Wow.
And after that little tour, or after those theaters, then I got invited to I think the last 2 Sam Cooke tours, and that was with Smokey and Jerry Butler and, of course, Sam Cooke and all the other.
Wow.
The Drifters were on it. Man. And it was quite an experience for
me. Quite
a
talented lineup, huh? I understand that you even had the opportunity to be on the same bill with a bunch of guys that were kind of just starting out back then that nobody really knew much about.
Oh, yeah, you mean those? Yeah, well, after that tour, I got invited to hang out in England, and I met these 4 guys. I don't know if they ever... I know they had a hit song going up there, but I don't know whether they became famous or not.
Do you remember their name?
I started with a B. I think it was the Beatles. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah, I heard of them. Yeah. Yeah, they had a couple of hits, didn't they?
Yeah, they had quite a bunch of hits. I remember hanging out with them and, you know, first meeting them. And when we go to soundcheck, I see all these different rock and roll artists, like that same kind of British character, you know what I mean? And we became good friends, and they were the opening act for me. And that's another thing that's phenomenal, you know.
Wow.
They opened up for me every night.
That is amazing, you know. There's not too many guys that can say that the Beatles opened for them. How about that?
I don't think so. That was the beginning of the Beatles.
Yeah.
I used to watch them play Love Me Do every night. Every night. So, to make a long story short, I used to think, wow, these guys are real rockers, especially when McCartney would sing one of the Little Richard songs, you know. And so I got my experience from hanging out with Sam Cooke and all the black artists, so I remember sometimes I'd be singing these songs to the girls, and I'd take my shirt off, you know.
All right, Chris.
Cool, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we got swarmed constantly, and, you know, I got the experience to know what it is to be whatever, a rock artist, a rock hit or something. I don't know how to define that, because I remember looking out our windows in the hotel with the Beatles, and girls would be waving to us from down the bottom. We'd be up maybe 5th floor, and we'd look out the window, and they started screaming and all that. What? You know?
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing.
I mean, it really is. I was talking to Jimmy Clanton a few weeks ago, and he told me that the first time he heard girls screaming, he didn't know if there was something wrong or what. He couldn't believe that they were screaming at him, but there he was. Now, in 1965, you moved on to a different record label. You go to A&M, right?
How that happened is I decided, because I had such a bad experience with the first label, that I decided I didn't want to record anymore, and so I decided to go to college, junior college, and try to get training background in music. So I was studying music.
All right.
And one day, this friend of mine, saxophone player by the name of Bob, he said, "I'm going to go pick up these tapes. Come with me." I said, "No, I don't want to go," because I didn't want anything to do with music anymore. To make a long story short, I walk in, and this person comes out and says to Bob, I can't use your music, but thank you anyway." And out of my friend's mouth came out, "Oh, this is Chris Montez." And this person said, "You're Chris Montez, a singer?" And I said, "Yeah." And he says, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm going to school right now." And he says, "I would love to have you for my label." And I said, "No, I'm not interested in recording anymore." So he said, "Think about it." And that was Herb Alpert.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, can you believe that?
Wow. And so, evidently, I mean, you did go to A&M Records.
Yes,
and,
I did. Yeah. And I started recording some of my songs that I had written with his the staff producer, and I thought they were great rock and roll tunes. But Herb Alpert, he told me, the staff producer told me, Herb's not interested in your songs that you record. And I said, I was disappointed. And he said, he's got an idea for you. And I said, okay. So I go into Herb's office, and all of a sudden he says, "Hey, Chris, here, I got the song." And so he starts saying, "If you're feeling sad and lonely," and I thought to myself, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me." That's not my thing, you know. I said, that would be something like, later on I would like to sing like the standards and kind of stuff.
Sure.
But to make a long story short, we recorded it, and he was standing right next to me while I'm going through these songs. He was like standing there virtually just to get it right. And that's how it developed.
And, well, as history would say, Chris Montez has a huge hit with "Call Me," a song that cracks the top 20 in the U.S., and number 2 on the adult contemporary charts. Now, that is fabulous.
Isn't that
I mean,
funny?
you lived in the top 10 on the adult contemporary charts. I mean, you had hit after hit.
Yeah,
and
right.
Album after album, and I remember seeing those albums, and I can remember, I thought to myself, boy, Chris really looks different. I mean, got his hair cut short. You really did look college, let me tell you.
Yeah, right. That's why I was going to college. That's right.
Yeah. And, well, I tell you, the hits just kept on coming, didn't they, Chris?
Yes. In that experience with Herb Alpert at A&M, I remember going to Brazil because they wanted me to come and do a tour there. So I'm on the plane. I even sang on the plane through the intercom system, some of the songs for them. The
That's
kids,
fabulous.
There were a bunch of kids. So when we landed, I thought there was a big crowd of people out there standing by the airport, and I'm thinking, as we landed, I thought, oh, there's got to be some diplomat here or something, because I knew nothing about Brazil. When I get off, there's like 5,000 people waiting there for me. "Welcome, Chris Montez." I couldn't believe it. It was outstanding, because I had the same trauma again, or the experience that I had with the Beatles, where people were grabbing you and girls were screaming. Well, I had 5 bodyguards in Brazil, and I couldn't go anywhere. And I kept telling the bodyguards, "Leave the people alone. Don't push them away. I want to talk to them." That's how I am. Or that's how I feel.
So
I've had those experiences, and I thank the Lord for that, because I stand on His word, but He's my strength. That's what I tell people. But I wouldn't want that kind of life always. I don't envy all these rockers that have constant people, the paparazzi and all that. They can have all that, I'd rather just stay with the common people.
Well, I understand that two of your songs became hits in the Netherlands. Was it Loco? How do you pronounce that? Loco
14, Crazy for You.
Yeah, and the other one?
Digas is another one, because I got a gold record from that. No Digas. It's a bilingual.
Wow.
It's a Mexican polka, but I guess because in Germany, because of that that feel. So it was a big hit for me, yeah. In fact, I'm going there next year to do those special tunes there.
Wow. Hey,
a whole big concert, and then I'm going to be doing a concert. They want me and Tommy Rowe to do a specific concert in England at the Cave in Liverpool.
Wow. Now, I understand that you are also going to be doing a winter dance party between between January the 30th and February the 1st of next year.
Yes,
and that's going to be at the Surf Ballroom. And if you don't mind, I'm going to give your listeners out there the website and the phone number for them to call for their tickets, because I understand that the tickets are selling pretty quick for this. So here is the website, www.surfballroom.com, or by telephone. It is 641-357-6151. And Chris, I mean, this is a big lineup that you have there. Wow. Besides yourself, I understand that Chubby Checker is going to be there. Tommy Rowe, the Four Preps, Jimmy Gilmer, the Fireballs, Jimmy Clanton, and the Original Drifters. So wow. That is going to be something.
Well, I can say it's just I'm honored to be part of that whole, roster of great artists.
Yeah, well, your name is right up there with them, my friend. You've been you've been with us on the charts for 40. Oh, boy, I'm making you old now, Chris. I'm sorry about that. 41 years, my friend. You have been on the music charts. What am I saying? No, it's 51 years.
Something like that.
Yeah.
To me, it was just yesterday. And yesterday's a minute gone.
Wow. It doesn't seem that long ago.
No.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Wow. I like I said, I remember going up and buying that 45 of Let's Dance. And I must have worn that thing out.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, and I just love that tune. Now, also, I want to mention, because I think this is really fabulous, Chris, that you are doing a benefit on December the 21st in Ontario, Canada, and all the proceeds are going to the victims of typhoon in the Philippines.
Yeah, right. It's going to be in Ontario, California.
Ontario, California?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misprinted that then. Okay.
No, that's okay.
Ontario, California.
Yes, right.
All right, I hit
and in fact, David Foster's just he decided he was going to do it with us.
Wow.
And all these different artists, the Cascades.
Oh, great. Yeah.
No, so I'm kind of honored. It's nice.
Wow. So today you are performing on the road. I know, because I've had a hard time getting a hold of you because you've been busy and and you're out touring.
Yes.
Any other plans in the future, Chris?
I'm trying to finish 2 albums up that I started, and I just let them go because I was too busy, and I sort of fell out of the pocket. But I have a standard album. It's going to be beautiful. I like Chris Montez, great standards, and then I did a Tex-Mex, which the music that I grew up to, wrote most of those songs, and then I got some other projects, and of course I'm going to Europe again for another 2 months to do concerts. I think it's 40 concerts, and then I'm going to New Zealand, Austria, and they want me to go to. Okay, I can't think of the place. It's far away from here. Anyway.
Far away. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You're not going to drive
Australia.
there then. Australia.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that is. That's down under.
That's way down under.
And again, I'm sorry for that, Ontario. It is Ontario, California. Okay, that's a new area for me, Ontario, California. I'm not familiar with that. Not familiar with that. So I understand that Chris Montez was also in the movies. Well,
no.
Chris Montez story. I guess they did a movie about
right.
you.
I'm sorry.
Right?
Yeah, we're almost finished with a documentary on my life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it's going to be wonderful. In fact, Brian Wilson is on it, and Herb Alpert's in it.
Wow.
And some of the first producers from Gold Star, which was a famous recording studio where everyone, Rick Nelson, every artist you can think of, recorded there.
Now, I see that the Four Preps are going to be on the bill with you at the winter dance party. They were friends of Rick Nelson's, I believe, and appeared on a couple of his records. Do you stay in touch with any of the guys that you toured with that are still with us today? I mean, do you stay in contact?
When I can, yeah. But it's like we all live our separate lives,
Sure.
and we hang out when we're together, and we sort of try to keep in touch.
Well, I know that JoeT Stevens said to say hello to you when I talked to you.
Oh yeah, my honey, JoeT and her daughter, they're beautiful.
Yeah, JoeT was on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
And she's doing great, busy like you.
Yes.
So, you got to make me a promise here now. When you get your new CD out, will you send me a copy of it right here?
I will.
Okay?
If you play it, yes, I will.
I will play it.
Oh, you'll be the first. In fact, you'll be the first I'll send it to.
All right, and I definitely will play it, Chris, because
okay.
We do 50s and 60s here on the Soda Shop, but any of the artists that have recorded during the 50s and 60s, they come out with new music. I love to give it a spin. Because
it's just going to be a lot in the same field as The More I See You and Call Me and all that. It's
great.
It's going to be the same kind of standards,
Well, that's great. Yeah. And from all of us here at Remember Then Radio, from me and from my wife Linda also, who said hello to you earlier, Chris, I want to wish you and your family a very, very Merry Christmas and God's blessings to you.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
Anything you'd like to leave your fans with?
My fans, God bless you and God bless America.
Well, thank you. God bless America. God bless Chris Montez. Chris, thanks for being here with us. And I'll be talking to you again real soon, okay?
Sounds great.
Thank
Bye.
you, Chris. Good night. Chris, you still there? Well, there he is, Mr. Chris Montez, and I just personally want to say that I have never spoken to a finer gentleman than Chris Montez. I wish him the very, very best. I mean, he is really a nice man. Chris and I were talking off of the microphone, and when his new album comes out, we're going to talk to Chris again, and we're going to play the cuts from his new album. I mean, he has been with us on the recording scene since 1962. My friends, that's 51 years. That is one hell of a career. Here's Chris Montez.